weekend. A bust?
Could the incoming freshman class be more than we bargained for?
And later, Lindsay Lohan. Could she finally be getting her life together by creating a documentary about her life? All this and more tonight on MC at Midnight. Good evening, and welcome to MC at Midnight. I'm your host, Brendan Doherty.
And I'm Nick Swan.
Spring has sprung this year at Merrimack College, beginning with our annual spring weekend.
That's right, Brendan. Although we don't like to usually limit the events to just one weekend, Springpalooza started on Friday night with our spring concert, starring the Plain White T's in A Great Big World.
A Great Big World had so much bass coming out of its piano that it blew a girl's clothes clean off her body. It was incredible.
That's one powerful piano.
Yeah, it's
Things
incredible.
really did start off on the right foot.
Students continued on Saturday morning with the softball tournament that began at 8 a.m.
They also had a beer tent available for students 21 and over.
I saw one student at the softball game who ended up in the finals and covered in blood, actually. He said that he did, in fact, lose that game.
Wow, things must have got pretty physical out there.
But it was a beautiful day for it, too.
Yeah,
Anyways,
it was sunny and 75 all day, and a lot of kids were outside running around. Great time, slip and slides.
yep, the quads outside of the school were jam-packed with students, climbing roofs and getting into all sorts of shenanigans. It was incredible.
I don't think President Hopi was too happy about that, though.
No, in fact, there was an email sent out addressing the issue of students not being allowed on the roof, saying that anyone who is on the roof will, in fact, be investigated and potentially even expelled.
Wow. So what about these rumors about the townhouses, Brendan?
Actually, I did hear about this too. The townhouses are set to get knocked down, and new res halls are planned to be built in their place.
To address these rumors and talk more about the college's transition, we have here with us tonight Tim O'Leary, newly elected president of the student government.
Welcome, Tim, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
As the SGA newly elected president, what are your thoughts on the college's expansion with the new buildings on campus and the number of students that are growing?
You know, when President Hopi came here about 3 years ago, he set an ambitious goal of increasing our enrollment to about 3,000 students, and we're just shy of that at about, I think, 2,900 now. So I think that in order to stay competitive and be more like schools that we set out to be, that was an important goal, and we've seen to have met it. And now that we're very close, people were afraid of it before, but now that we're closer, that it seems like it hasn't really disrupted anything, any part of the Merrimack that we know.
Now, Tim, I've heard that a new building is going to be built to model O'Brien. Is that true?
I know that they have plans to build another building. I do not know where, and I do not know what model that will follow. I do know that when they set out to build the new res, they did plan on building it like O'Brien, but they saw another set of designs that were the buildings we see now, and they went with that. If I had to bet, I'd say they'd be similar to Newhall, but I don't know anything with certainty.
Yeah, it's amazing how much the school has grown since we got here. Do you know about their plans to keep housing on the housing side versus the academic side, or do you think they're going to expand on the academic side as well?
You know, I believe you'll see academic buildings expanded, but I don't know anything with certainty again, but I've heard from Mark Gould, who works in Austin Hall. I asked him that question, and he said that you'll only see that be the residential side of campus. Certainly that can change with where we're allowed to build, but I would believe it to be their goal to keep everything in one side.
Interesting.
Yeah. Can't wait to come back and see on Alumni Weekend what the school has become.
Me too.
Well, thank you for joining us, Tim, at such a late hour, and we really appreciate you coming down here.
Anytime. Always a pleasure.
Thanks, Tim. And now we send it over to Ryan Hunt, our meteorologist.
Well, it seems that we're having some technical difficulties with our meteorologist. We're going to turn it over to Elizabeth Fitzgerald interviewing people about the Boston Marathon.
Thanks, Brendan. Last year's bombings during the Boston Marathon affected our city like no other event. While it brought great sorrows to us all, it truly united Boston citizens and brought us closer together. This year's marathon brought people from all over to support those who are running the race, as well as the families who were affected by last year's tragedy. Let's see if any members of the Merrimack community had attended the race on Monday. Here we are in the Sackwich Center, speaking with Junior, Mary Murphy. Mary, what are your thoughts on the marathon?
I thought they did a really nice job with the marathon this year. I think it was really nicely put together and there was a lot of participation in the city.
Thanks. Matt Gordon, Director of Campus Fitness and Rec. What are your thoughts on the marathon?
I thought it was really inspirational, and it was a great day to see a lot of runners and also a lot of people cheering everybody on.
Thank you. All right, back to you, Brendan and Nick.
Next, we'll hear from our very own Gossip Girls, Elizabeth and Christy, on the new celebrity gossip going on today.
Hi, I'm Christy Slocum.
And I'm Elizabeth Fitzgerald.
While we've been enjoying the great outdoors, celebrity divas have been creating a storm of drama of their own.
That's right. Lindsay Lohan being the top gossip this week doesn't come as a surprise, considering she's been in the spotlight most of her life.
After spiraling out of control for several years now, she finally let Oprah and her crew come into her life after her struggle with rehab to see her try to put her life back together.
The documentary was split into 6 parts, airing exclusively on OWN, Oprah Winfrey's network.
It started off with her happy and excited to get her life back together.
Quickly, Lohan showed her true colors as she refused to be filmed for a span of 3 weeks as she hopped from hotel to hotel looking for an apartment to live in.
Lindsay Lohan recently revealed that during the 2-hour season finale that she had a miscarriage during the time that she refused to film, sharing, "It was a very long story and mentally that messes with you."
The documentary concluded and didn't quite display Lohan as getting her life together, but instead showed another breakdown for the starlet.
You know, I do feel bad for Lindsay. I loved her in The Parent Trap, and I really hope that she can get her life back together.
I'll always be a Lohan fan. I looked up to her as a young girl, and I hope that she can get back to the Lindsay she was during the filming of Mean Girls. On the other hand, Miley Cyrus was somebody I adored as a child as she played Hannah Montana, but now personally she just disgusts me. I don't know about you, Christy.
I have to say, I love her new music, but her new style is not for me.
The difference between Lindsay and Miley is that the press digs at Lindsay, looking for dirt to exploit her, while on the other hand, Miley does it to herself, posing half naked, smoking a joint on national television. She wants the attention.
She wants us all to know that she's not Hannah Montana anymore, even though it seems like she's still trying to figure out who she has become.
Miley reportedly spent 420 in the hospital crying, not under the influence or not stoned.
I wonder if this is all starting to catch up with her, and this is the beginning of a breakdown for Cyrus.
On a happier note, longtime lovers Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis have a baby on the way.
I love them in that 70s show. Chemistry like that just doesn't stay on screen. I'm surprised it took them this long to figure it out.
They make an adorable couple. I'm sure the baby will be beautiful. Best of luck to the couple.
Back to you, Brennan and Nick.
And that about does it for us here at MC at Midnight. I'm Brendan Doherty.
And I'm Nick Swan. Tune in to join us next week.